The news spread around the world in hours. Alien ships were coming to Earth. Governments called emergency meetings. Military forces went to high alert. People everywhere looked up at the sky with fear and worry. But in the desert, Dr. Kim Tae-ho was not looking at the sky. He was looking at the alien weapon that might save them all. The problem was that it did not work, and they had only 6 months to fix it. "We need more people," Tae-ho said to the growing crowd of scientists around him. "And we need them now." Within a week, the desert camp had grown into a small city. The best engineers, physicists, and computer experts from every nation had come to help. They worked day and night, trying to understand alien technology that was centuries ahead of anything humans had ever built. Technician Yoon Min-ho was one of the new arrivals. He was only 24 years old, but he had a gift for making broken electronics work again. While other scientists studied the alien computers, Min-ho crawled through the ship's maintenance tunnels following cables and wires. "The power systems are completely fried," he told engineer Park Soo-bin during one of their daily meetings. "But I think I know why. The aliens used a type of crystal to store and focus energy. When the ship crashed, all the crystals broke." "Can we make new crystals?" Soo-bin asked. Min-ho shook his head. "Not like theirs, but maybe we can use something else." He pulled out a tablet and showed her his calculations. "What if we connected the weapon directly to Earth's power grid? All of it. Every fusion reactor, every power plant, every solar panel." Soo-bin stared at the numbers on the screen. "That would leave most of Earth without electricity." "Only when we fire the weapon," Min-ho said. "But it might work." Dr. Han Bo-young, the materials scientist, had been listening to their conversation. She was 41 years old and had spent her career finding new ways to build things. "Even if we solve the power problem, we still have the targeting system," she pointed out. "The weapon's computer is completely destroyed. That was the biggest problem of all. The molecular resonance cannon could destroy anything, but only if it could aim at the right target. The alien targeting computer was so badly damaged that even the pieces could not be found." Dr. Choi Hee-jin had been working on this problem for weeks. As their quantum physics expert, she understood how the weapon worked better than anyone else. But understanding and fixing were two different things. "The aliens built their targeting system to be perfectly logical," she explained to the group. "Every calculation had to be exact. Every variable had to be known. It was incredibly accurate, but also incredibly fragile." "What do you suggest?" Tae-ho asked. "We build our own targeting system," Hee-jin said, "but we do it the human way." "What is the human way?" Hee-jin smiled. "We guess." The idea seemed crazy, but the more she explained it, the more sense it made. Instead of trying to calculate everything perfectly like the aliens did, humans could use intuition and instinct. They could feel where the target was and adjust their aim in real time. "I have been studying the weapon's quantum field generators," Hee-jin continued. "I think I can create a link between the weapon and a human operator. The person would literally feel the target through quantum connection." "That sounds dangerous," Commander Jang Ki-tae said. He was the new strategic operations leader, sent by the United Earth government to coordinate the project. At 52, he had fought in every major conflict of the last 20 years. He knew the cost of desperate plans. "It is dangerous," Hee-jin admitted, "but it might be the only way." While the scientists worked on the weapon, Ki-tae organized the biggest cooperation effort in human history. Every country contributed something. Russia sent uranium for the fusion reactors. Japan provided advanced electronics. Germany sent precision manufacturing equipment. America shared their supercomputer networks. Even small nations found ways to help. "We are doing something the aliens never could," Ki-tae told Tae-ho one evening as they watched trucks and equipment arriving from around the world. "We are working together. All of us. Every human on Earth has the same goal." The work was incredibly difficult. Alien technology did not follow human rules. Their computers used mathematics that human scientists had never seen. Their materials were stronger than anything Earth could produce. Their energy systems worked in ways that seemed impossible. But humans had something the aliens did not have. They had the ability to make things work, even when they should not work. Minho proved this when he created the power connection system. Instead of trying to copy the alien energy crystals, he built a network that connected every power source on Earth. It was messy and complicated, with thousands of cables and control systems. The aliens would have considered it horribly inefficient. But it worked. Bo Young solved the materials problem the same way. She could not make materials as strong as alien metal, but she could make materials that adapted and changed. She developed new alloys that could repair themselves when damaged. She created composites that got stronger under stress instead of breaking. The aliens built everything to be perfect, she explained to her team. But perfect things break when the conditions change. We build things to survive and adapt. Hyojin made the biggest breakthrough of all. After months of work, she successfully created a quantum link between the weapon and a human volunteer. The test subject was pilot Kang Jae-sung, a 31-year-old fighter pilot who had volunteered for the dangerous experiment. "I can feel it," Jae-sung whispered, as the quantum field activated around him. He was connected to sensors throughout the ship, his mind linked to the weapon's targeting system. "I can feel the weapon like it is part of my body." "Can you target something?" Hyojin asked. Jae-sung concentrated on a metal target they had placed a kilometer away. The weapon's sensors locked onto it immediately. "Yes, it is like pointing my finger." The first test firing was scheduled for a month before the alien fleet arrived. The entire world watched as Earth's power grid prepared to channel its energy into an alien weapon. "All systems ready," Subin reported from the control room she had built inside the ship. "Power connection stable. Targeting system online." "Firing in 10 seconds, Hyojin announced. The countdown seemed to take forever. Everyone held their breath as the numbers dropped to 0. The weapon fired. The beam of energy was invisible to human eyes, but its effect was not. The metal target a kilometer away simply disappeared. One moment it was there, the next moment it was gone. Not destroyed or melted or vaporized. Gone. The weapon had broken down every atom in the target. But the cost was enormous. The energy drain caused blackouts across 3 continents. Millions of people lost power for several hours while the grid struggled to recover. "The power requirements are too high," Kite said grimly. "If we fire this weapon at full power, we will leave Earth defenseless and in darkness. We need to find a way to reduce the energy needs," Taeho said, "or find a way to recharge faster." That was when they discovered that their human modifications had changed the weapon in ways they did not expect. Minho's adaptive power systems had created feedback loops that increased efficiency. Bo Young's self-repairing materials had integrated with the alien systems in strange ways. Hyojin's quantum targeting system had somehow enhanced the weapon's basic function. "We are not just fixing this weapon," Hyojin realized during one of their late-night work sessions. "We are improving it." The aliens never thought to combine their technology with biological intuition. They never imagined power systems that adapt and change. They never built materials that get stronger when damaged. "You are saying we are making it better than the original?" Subin asked. "I am saying we are making it more human," Hyojin replied. "And maybe that is exactly what we need." As the weeks passed, more improvements were made. The weapon's efficiency increased. The power requirements dropped. The targeting system became more accurate. Every human modification made the system work better. But there was still one major problem. Even with all their improvements, the weapon needed 4 hours to recharge between shots. Against a fleet of 12 alien warships, they would get very few chances to fire. "We need to make the ship mobile," Dongwu suggested. "If we can move, we can avoid return fire while we recharge." "The engines are damaged beyond repair," Subin pointed out. "Then we build new engines," Bo Young said. "Human engines, using human technology and alien principles." It was another impossible task that humans decided to make possible. Bo Young's team began designing hybrid engines that used alien gravity manipulation combined with human fusion rockets. Minho worked on control systems that could handle the ship's enormous mass. Jae-sung learned to pilot something the size of a small city. With only days left before the alien fleet arrived, they achieved another breakthrough. The ship's engines came online for the first time in 30 years. The massive vessel rose slowly from the desert sand, where it had rested for so long. Engines stable. Jae-sung reported from the pilot seat that human engineers had built into the alien bridge. All systems responding to human controls. The ship was no longer purely alien or purely human. It was something new, something that combined the best of both species. The aliens had built it to be perfect and efficient. Humans had rebuilt it to be adaptable and determined. Terra's vengeance drifted through the cold darkness of space, moving away from the blue-green world that had given birth to humanity. Dr. Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge that human engineers had carved into the alien ship's command center. Through the massive windows, he could see Earth growing smaller behind them. "How long before they arrive?" he asked Dr. Choi Hye-jin, who was monitoring the long-range sensors. 60 hours, she replied, her fingers dancing across the human-built control panels. "The Vorthak fleet is moving faster than we expected. Admiral Zhao Wei-ming had joined them 3 days ago, along with Earth's best military strategists. At 49, he had commanded Earth's defense forces through the unification wars. He understood space combat better than anyone alive. But he had never fought aliens before. 12 heavy cruisers and 1 dreadnought, he said, studying the tactical display. Each cruiser is twice the size of our ship. The dreadnought is 10 times larger." "What are their capabilities?" asked Dr. Lim Soo-jin. She was their xenopsychology expert, brought in to help understand how the aliens thought and fought. Hye-jin pulled up files from the ship's recovered database. "According to these records, a single heavy cruiser can destroy a planet's surface in days. The dreadnought can crack a moon in half. And we have one weapon that takes 4 hours to recharge," Pilot Kang Jae-sung said from his position at the helm. Even with all the human improvements, Terra's vengeance was still badly outnumbered. Soo-jin had been studying the alien communications they had intercepted. "I have been analyzing their messages," she said. "The good news is that they are not coming to destroy Earth. They want to reclaim their property." "Their property?" Tae-ho asked. "This ship," Soo-jin explained. "They are treating this as a recovery mission, not an invasion. They expect to find their abandoned vessel exactly where they left it." "That gives us an advantage," Wei-ming said. "They are not prepared for a real fight. They think they are dealing with primitive humans who found their old ship." Engineer Park Soo-bin looked up from her engineering station. "The quantum targeting system is working better than ever," she reported. "Jae-sung's connection to the weapon is getting stronger each time we test it." It was true. The human-alien hybrid targeting system was improving in ways that surprised everyone. Jae-sung could now field targets at incredible distances. His accuracy had reached levels that the original alien designers never achieved. "It is like the weapon is learning from me," Jae-sung explained. "Every time I use it, the connection gets clearer. I can sense things that the sensors cannot detect." Hye-jin nodded. "The quantum field is adapting to human brain patterns. The aliens built their technology to be logical and predictable. But human minds are chaotic and intuitive. That chaos is making the system more powerful." Technician Yoon Min-ho had been working around the clock to improve the ship's systems. His latest discovery was both exciting and terrifying. "I found something strange in the power grid," he announced to the group. "The alien systems are starting to work together with our human modifications." "What do you mean?" Tae-ho asked. "The ship is becoming something new," Min-ho explained. "The alien technology is adapting to our changes. The human technology is learning from the alien systems. It is like they are talking to each other." Dr. Han Bo-young had noticed the same thing with the ship's hull and structure. "My self-repairing materials are integrating with the alien metal," she said. "The hull is getting stronger, more flexible. It is almost like the ship is healing itself." Commander Jang Ki-tae listened to all of this with growing concern. "Are we sure we can control this ship?" he asked. "If it is changing beyond our understanding, it might become dangerous." "All weapons are dangerous," Wei-ming replied. The question is whether it is more dangerous to our enemies than to us." As Terra's vengeance continued its journey away from Earth, the team made final preparations for battle. They had run countless simulations and tests. They had studied every piece of information about Vorthak tactics and technology. But they all knew that the real fight would be nothing like their preparations. The alien fleet is maintaining standard formation, Sujin observed. 12 cruisers in a protective shell around the dreadnought. It is exactly what their military manuals recommend for recovering lost property. They are not expecting a fight, Wei Ming said with satisfaction. That confidence will be their weakness. But we only get a few shots with our main weapon, Su Bin pointed out. If we miss or if we do not do enough damage, they will overwhelm us quickly. Jae Sung was practicing with the targeting system, learning to feel the quantum connections that linked him to distant objects. I will not miss, he said quietly. I can feel them out there. 12 smaller ships and one huge one. When the time comes, I will know exactly where to aim. The hours passed slowly as the two fleets approached each other. Earth's radio telescopes tracked every movement of the alien ships. Terra's vengeance remained hidden in the shadow of an asteroid, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. New intelligence from Earth, Heejin announced, reading messages from the home planet. Our spy satellites have intercepted more alien communications. What are they saying? Taeho asked. The fleet commander is called Zektar. He served on this ship before it was abandoned. He knows its capabilities and weaknesses. She paused, reading more of the translation. He is telling his crew that humans are too primitive to operate Vorthak technology. He is wrong about that, Minho said with a smile. We do not just operate it, we improve it. There is more, Heejin continued. Zektar is angry that the humans activated his old ship. He considers it an insult to Vorthak honor. He wants to reclaim the ship and punish Earth for touching their property. Wei Ming studied the tactical situation on his command screen. Anger makes people sloppy, he said. If their commander is emotional, he will make mistakes. What is our battle plan? Kite asked. Simple, Wei Ming replied. We make them think we are exactly what they expect us to be. Primitive humans in a broken alien ship. We act confused and scared until we get close enough to hit them with everything we have. And then? Taeho asked. Then we show them what humans can do when we are really stubborn. As the final hours approached, each team member prepared in their own way. Taeho checked and rechecked the weapon systems. Subin ran diagnostics on every human modification they had made. Heejin calibrated the quantum targeting field. Jae Sung practiced feeling the connection to distant targets. Minho made last-minute improvements to the power systems. Bo Young reinforced critical parts of the hull with her adaptive materials. Wei Ming studied Vorthak battle tactics, looking for weaknesses to exploit. Sujin analyzed alien psychology, trying to predict how they would react to unexpected situations. Contact in 12 hours, Hyojin announced. Terra's vengeance emerged from behind the asteroid and began moving toward the approaching alien fleet. To long-range sensors, it looked exactly like what the aliens expected to see. A damaged ship, badly repaired, with primitive human technology. Cables and equipment hung from its hull like scars. Welding marks covered its surface. It moved slowly and clumsily, as if barely under control. Perfect, Wei Ming said, watching the alien fleet's response. They see exactly what they want to see. The Vorthak ships maintained their formation, approaching with the confidence of a superior force dealing with inferior opponents. Their communications, intercepted by Earth's listening stations, showed amusement rather than concern. They are laughing at us, Sujin translated. Zektar is telling his crew that humans have turned his beautiful warship into a floating junkyard. Let them laugh, Jae Sung said from the pilot's seat. They will not be laughing much longer. All systems ready, Subin reported. Power grid stable, targeting system online. Hull integrity at maximum. Remember, Wei Ming said to the entire crew, we are not trying to defeat their entire fleet. We just need to hurt them badly enough to make them retreat. Show them that humans are not as weak as they think. And if they do not retreat? Kite asked. Then we find out just how stubborn humans can be, Taeho replied. The alien fleet was now close enough to see with the ship's cameras. 12 sleek warships moved through space in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming in the light of distant stars. At their center was the dreadnought Galactic Dominion, a massive ship that looked like it could conquer solar systems by itself. "They are beautiful," Heejin admitted, watching the alien ships approach, "and terrifying." "They are about to learn that beautiful and terrifying are not enough," Wei Ming said grimly. "Not when facing humans who have nothing left to lose." As Terra's vengeance continued its slow, clumsy approach toward the alien fleet, every human on board knew that the next few hours would determine the fate of their species. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing technology centuries ahead of their own. But they had something the aliens did not understand. They had turned an abandoned piece of alien junk into a weapon that combined the best of two species. They had taken the aliens' own dismissive words, primitively stubborn and inefficiently resourceful, and made them into strengths. "Contact in 1 hour," Heijin announced. The final battle was about to begin. The desert wind howled across the sand dunes as Dr. Kim Tae-ho wiped sweat from his face. He had been standing in front of the massive alien ship for 30 minutes, but he still could not believe it. After 30 years of trying, they had finally broken through the outer hull. The ship was huge. It stretched almost 2 kilometers across the desert floor, half buried in sand that had blown over it for decades. The metal was dark gray and smooth, unlike anything humans had ever built. Strange symbols covered its surface, glowing faintly blue in the morning light. "Are you sure the scanners are working correctly?" Tae-ho asked his assistant, engineer Park Soo-bin. She was young, only 28, but she knew more about alien technology than anyone else on Earth. Soo-bin checked her handheld device again. "Yes, sir. The hull breach is stable. We can enter safely now." She looked excited. "After all these years, we are finally going inside." Captain Lee Dong-woo walked up behind them. He was a military man who did not get excited easily, but even he seemed impressed. "My soldiers have secured the area. No one gets in or out without my permission." He looked at the ship with suspicious eyes. "I still do not like this. That thing has been sitting here since 2057. Why did it suddenly open up now?" Tae-ho had been wondering the same thing. The ship had crashed in the Gobi Desert 30 years ago, during humanity's first contact with aliens. The meeting had gone badly. The aliens, who called themselves the Vorthak, had looked at Earth for a few weeks. Then they decided humans were not worth their time. They left quickly, abandoning this damaged ship in the desert. Since then, scientists from around the world had tried everything to get inside. They had used lasers, explosives, acid, and every cutting tool known to man. Nothing had worked. The alien metal was too strong. Then, 3 days ago, a crack had appeared in the hull. Yesterday, the crack had become a hole. Today, they could finally enter. "Dr. Choi Hai-jin is already inside," Soo-bin said, pointing to the hole in the ship's side. "She went in 20 minutes ago to check for dangers." Hee-jin was their quantum physics expert. If anyone could understand the alien technology, it would be her. Tae-ho trusted her completely, but he was still worried. They had no idea what they might find inside. "Let's go," Tae-ho said. He picked up his equipment bag and walked toward the hole. Soo-bin and Dong-woo followed him. The inside of the ship was dark and cold. Emergency lights flickered along the walls, casting strange shadows. Everywhere, the corridors were wide and tall, built for beings larger than humans. Everything was made of the same dark gray metal as the outside. "Hello?" Tae-ho called out. His voice echoed in the empty hallways. "Over here." Hee-jin's voice came from somewhere ahead. They followed the sound through a maze of corridors until they found her in a large room filled with strange machines. Hee-jin was 33 years old, and one of the smartest people Tae-ho had ever met. She was standing in front of a wall covered with alien writing that glowed soft blue. "This is amazing," she said without looking at them. "The power systems are still partially active. The ship's computer is trying to communicate." "What is it saying?" Dong-woo asked. "I am not sure yet. The translation software is working on it." Hyejin pointed to her laptop, which was connected to one of the alien machines. But I think this ship is called the Vorthtar. It was a heavy warship used for conquering planets. Taeho felt a chill run down his spine. A warship? What kind of weapons does it have? Before Hyejin could answer, her laptop beeped. New text appeared on the screen. The translation is coming through, she said. It says this ship has something called a molecular resonance cannon. What does that mean? Subin asked. I am not sure, but it sounds dangerous, Hyejin said. According to this, the weapon can break down matter at the atomic level. It can destroy almost anything. Dongwu stepped closer. Could it defend Earth? Maybe, Hyejin said. But there are problems. The weapon needs a special power source that we do not have, and the targeting system is completely broken. They spent the next few hours exploring the ship. It was like walking through a museum of impossible technology. Every room contained machines that could change the world. There were computers faster than anything on Earth. There were medical devices that could heal any injury. There were engines that could travel faster than light. But everything was damaged. The aliens had taken all the important parts when they left. What remained was like a car without an engine or wheels. Why did they leave it? Subin wondered out loud. They were standing in what used to be the ship's command center. Broken screens and damaged control panels surrounded them. Look at this, Hyejin said. She had found another working computer terminal. I found the ship's log files. Listen to this. She read from her laptop screen. Mission report. Planet Earth evaluation complete. Species assessment. Primitively stubborn. Inefficiently resourceful. Not suitable for slavery or alliance. Recommendation. Abandon contact. Primitively stubborn? Subin laughed. I guess that means we do not give up easily. Inefficiently resourceful, Dongwu repeated. They think we waste time and materials when we solve problems. Maybe that is why they left this ship, Taeho said. To them it was too damaged to be worth fixing. They probably thought it would be cheaper to build a new one. They continued reading the log files. The story became clear. The Vorthtar had been damaged in a battle with another alien race. The repair costs would have been enormous. The Vorthak Empire decided it was more efficient to abandon the ship and build a replacement. That is the difference between us and them, Hyejin said. We fix things. We make them work even when they should not work. They throw things away and start over. As the day went on, they discovered more about the ship's weapon system. The molecular resonance cannon was located in the ship's main gun turret. It was the size of a subway train and looked like it had never been fired. According to the computer, this weapon was designed to crack planets, Hyejin explained. One shot could destroy a city. A few shots could break apart a moon. But it does not work, Subin pointed out. The power coupling is destroyed, and the targeting computer is completely fried. The aliens probably thought it was impossible to fix, Taeho said, but maybe they were wrong. As the sun began to set, the team prepared to leave the ship for the day. They had learned more in one day than in 30 years of trying to get inside. But they had also discovered how much work lay ahead of them. We need to bring in more people, Taeho said as they walked back through the corridors. Engineers, physicists, computer experts. If we are going to understand this technology, we need the best minds on Earth. Do you really think we can make it work? Subin asked. The alien said we are primitively stubborn. Taeho replied with a smile. Maybe it is time to prove them right. They reached the hole in the hull and prepared to climb out. As Dongwu helped Hyejin with her equipment, her laptop suddenly started beeping frantically. What is that? Dongwu asked. Hyejin looked at the screen and her face went pale. It is the long-range sensors. They are detecting something. What kind of something? Ships, she whispered. Alien ships. Multiple contacts at the edge of the My solar system. Taeho grabbed the laptop and stared at the display. 12 red dots blinked on the screen, moving slowly toward Earth. How long before they get here, he asked. Hyejin did some quick calculations. At their current speed, about 6 months. The Vorthak are coming back, Subin said quietly. Dongwu was already on his radio, calling his headquarters. "This is Captain Lee. Priority Alpha alert. We have incoming alien contacts. I repeat, we have incoming alien contacts." As chaos erupted around them, Tae-ho stared up at the darkening sky. Somewhere out there, an alien fleet was approaching Earth. The only thing that might save them was a broken weapon inside an abandoned ship that the aliens had considered worthless. "Primitively stubborn," he said to himself. "Let us see how stubborn we can be." The first shots came without warning. Terra's vengeance shuddered as alien weapons struck its hull. Pilot Kang Jae-sung fought to keep the massive ship steady as energy beams cut through the darkness around them. The Vorthak fleet had opened fire the moment they realized something was wrong. "Hull breach on Deck 7, Engineer Park Subin shouted over the noise of alarms and explosions. "Emergency force fields are holding." Dr. Kim Tae-ho gripped his command chair as another blast rocked the ship. Through the bridge windows he could see the 12 alien cruisers spreading out in attack formation. Behind them, the huge dreadnought Galactic Dominion moved forward like a mountain of metal and death. "They figured out we are not helpless," Admiral Zhao Wei-ming said grimly. He was studying the tactical display as red warning lights flashed all around them. Fleet Commander Zektar is no fool. He realized this ship has been modified. "How long until we can fire the main weapon?" Tae-ho asked Dr. Choi Hee-jin. 30 seconds, she replied, her hands dancing over the targeting controls. "The quantum field is building up power." Jae-sung closed his eyes and reached out with his mind, feeling for the alien ships through the quantum connection. The targeting system that humans and aliens had built together was more powerful than anything either species had created alone. He could sense each enemy ship as clearly as if he were touching them. "I have target lock on the lead cruiser," he announced. "Ready to fire. On your command." "Fire," Tae-ho shouted. The molecular resonance cannon discharged with a sound like reality tearing apart. An invisible beam of pure energy reached across space and touched the lead Vorthak cruiser. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the alien ship simply ceased to exist. 3,000 Vorthak soldiers vanished in an instant as their atoms were torn apart. "Direct hit!" Subin cried out in triumph. "One cruiser destroyed!" But the celebration lasted only seconds. The remaining 11 cruisers opened fire with everything they had. Terra's vengeance bucked and rolled as dozens of energy weapons struck its hull. Sparks flew from damaged systems, the lights flickered and went out, then came back on. "Main weapon recharging," Hyojin reported. 4 hours until we can fire again." "We will not last 4 minutes at this rate," Wei-ming said, watching the tactical display as the alien ships closed in on them. "We need to move. Now." Jae-sung's hands flew over the pilot controls. The human-modified engines roared to life, pushing the enormous ship away from the concentrated alien fire. But Terra's vengeance was huge and slow compared to the sleek Vorthak. Cruisers. They followed it easily, their weapons cutting into its armor. "We need cover," Wei-ming said. "Head for the asteroid belt." The asteroid field was a maze of spinning rocks and metal debris left over from the formation of the solar system. The alien ships would have trouble maintaining their formation there. But it was also dangerous for Terra's vengeance. "I can do this," Jae-sung said, more to himself than to anyone else. The quantum targeting system that linked him to the main weapon also connected him to the ship's navigation. He could feel the asteroids around them like obstacles in a video game. Terra's vengeance plunged into the asteroid field with the 11 remaining cruisers in pursuit. Jae-sung twisted and turned the massive ship between the spinning rocks, using human instinct and alien technology to navigate impossible paths. "How is he doing that?" Wei-ming asked in amazement as they watched a house-sized asteroid pass within meters of the bridge windows. "Human pilots are unpredictable," Dr. Lim Soo-jin explained. She had been monitoring alien communications during the chase. "The Vorthak computers cannot calculate where we will go next because we do not fly in logical patterns." The first alien cruiser to follow them into the asteroid field crashed into a spinning rock the size of a city. The second one was destroyed when Jae-sung led it through a narrow gap that was too small for its bulk. The third one pulled back, unwilling to risk the dangerous navigation. We bought ourselves some time, Wei Ming said. But not enough. They will find a way around the asteroids. Technician Yoon Min-ho had been working frantically to repair the damage from the alien attacks. The power systems are holding, he reported. But the hull is taking a beating. Dr. Bo Young's self-repairing materials are working, but they cannot keep up with this much damage. Dr. Han Bo Young was in the ship's engineering sections, monitoring the repairs. The alien metal is learning. From my materials, she said over the communication system. It is starting to repair itself without my help, but it needs time. Time we do not have, Tae-ho said. Through the windows, he could see the alien ships regrouping on the other side of the asteroid field. They were being more careful now, but they were still coming. 3 hours and 20 minutes until the main weapon is ready, Hyojin announced. We need to survive that long, Wei Ming said. And we need to get close enough to the dreadnought for a killing shot. Commander Jiang Qitai had been quiet during the battle, monitoring reports from Earth. Now he spoke up with grim news. Earth's defense platforms are launching, he said. Every missile, every energy weapon, everything we have left. On the tactical display, dozens of small dots appeared, moving from Earth toward the alien fleet. They were humanity's last conventional weapons, satellites armed with nuclear missiles and particle beam weapons. Brave men and women were piloting them on suicide missions to buy Terra's vengeance more time. They will not survive, Wei Ming said quietly. Those platforms were never designed to fight warships like these. But they fought anyway. Earth's defense platforms threw themselves at the Vorthak cruisers like angry wasps attacking giants. Most were destroyed before they could fire a shot. But a few got through, their nuclear warheads damaging alien shields and armor. The cruiser, Vorthakon, has lost power, Sujin reported, translating urgent alien communications. 2 more ships have hull breaches. They are pulling back to make repairs. 8 cruisers left, Wei Ming counted. Plus the dreadnought. The sacrifice of Earth's defenders had given Terra's vengeance precious time, but it had also revealed their position. The remaining alien ships were converging on the asteroid field from multiple directions. We cannot hide much longer, Jae Sung said from the pilot seat. They have us surrounded. Then we stop hiding, Tae-ho decided. We go on the attack. With what? Subin asked. Our main weapon will not be ready for hours. We have other weapons, Minho pointed out. The ship's original systems, particle cannons, missile tubes, energy shields. We never tried to use them. Because they do not work, Hyojin reminded him. The power couplings are destroyed. So we fix them, Minho said with a grin. The human way. For the next hour, while Jae-sung played hide-and-seek with alien warships among the asteroids, Minho and his team performed miracles of improvised engineering. They rerouted power through human-built cables. They connected alien weapon systems to human targeting computers. They made things work that should never have worked. Particle cannons online, Minho announced triumphantly. We have 4 working guns. Missile tubes loaded, another technician reported. 20 warheads ready to fire. The weapons were not as powerful as the molecular resonance cannon, but they were still alien technology, and they recharged in minutes instead of hours. Terra's vengeance burst out of the asteroid field like an angry whale breaking the ocean surface. Its newly activated weapons blazed with energy as it charged straight at the nearest Vorthak cruiser. Target. The bridge, Wei Ming ordered. 4 particle beams struck the alien ship simultaneously. Its shields flared and collapsed. Missiles followed, tearing into its hull. The cruiser spun out of control, its command structure destroyed. But the other alien ships responded quickly. Energy beams lanced out from 7 directions at once, all focused on Terra's vengeance. The human-modified ship shook under the massive attack. Hull plates melted and flew away into space, systems overloaded and exploded. We cannot take much more of this, Subin warned. The hull is failing. 2 hours until main weapon ready, Hyojin called out. We need to get closer to the dreadnought, Wei Ming said. That is our real target. These cruisers are just bodyguards. The dreadnought Galactic Dominion had been hanging back, letting its smaller ships do the fighting. But now it moved forward, its massive weapons beginning to charge. The ship was 10 times larger than Terra's Vengeance and armed with enough firepower to destroy planets. That thing could crack our ship in half with one shot, Jae-sung said, staring at the approaching monster. Then we make sure it only gets one shot, Tae-ho replied. What followed was the most desperate hour in human history. Terra's Vengeance fought a running battle against overwhelming odds, using every trick and advantage that human creativity could devise. Jae-sung piloted the ship through impossible maneuvers. Min-ho kept damaged systems working through sheer determination. Bo-young's adaptive materials held the hull together when it should have fallen apart. The ship took terrible damage. Whole sections were blown away by alien weapons. Dozens of human crew members died at their posts, keeping the ship fighting until their last breath. But they kept going, driven by the stubborn refusal to give up that the aliens had dismissed as primitive. 1 hour until main weapon ready, Hyejin announced. The molecular resonance cannon fired at 60% power from point-blank range. The energy beam struck the dreadnought Galactic Dominion's hull and did something that should have been impossible. Instead of punching through the armor, the beam seemed to sink into the metal like water into sand. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then reality went insane. Dr. Choi Hee-jin watched in amazement as the quantum field readings on her instruments went completely wild. "Something is wrong," she shouted over the chaos on the bridge. "The weapon is not acting like it should." Terra's Vengeance was so close to the dreadnought that pilot Kang Jae-sung could see individual windows on the alien ship. The quantum connection that linked him to the weapon was stronger than it had ever been, but instead of feeling the target being destroyed, he felt something else entirely. "We are merging with them," he said in wonder. "I can feel their ship like it is part of ours." Dr. Kim Tae-ho stared through the bridge windows as the impossible happened before his eyes. Terra's Vengeance was passing through the dreadnought's hull like a ghost walking through a wall. The two ships occupied the same space at the same time, their atoms existing in different quantum states. "How is this possible?" Engineer Park Subin asked, watching her instruments register readings that made no sense. "The weapon," Hyejin said, understanding flooding her voice. "It is not destroying the target. It is changing our quantum state, making us phase out of normal spacetime." Technician Yoon Min-ho had been monitoring the power systems when the impossible began. "The alien ship's energy is feeding back into our systems," he reported in amazement. "We are drawing power from their fusion reactors." Dr. Han Bo-young was in the engineering section when her self-repairing materials began to do something they had never done before. "The hull is transforming," she announced over the communication system. "My adaptive materials are merging with the alien ship's structure." Terra's Vengeance continued to pass through the dreadnought, but it was no longer the same ship that had started the battle. Every human modification, every improvised system, every stubborn refusal to accept limitations was combining with alien technology in ways that neither species had ever imagined. "We are becoming something new," Tae-ho realized. Human determination and alien technology merged at the quantum level. The process took only seconds, but those seconds contained a lifetime of transformation. When Terra's Vengeance emerged from the other side of the dreadnought, both ships had changed forever. The dreadnought Galactic Dominion was no longer the perfect alien warship it had been. Its systems were failing as human chaos infected its logical networks. Its weapons powered down as human unpredictability disrupted its targeting computers. Its engines sputtered and died as human improvisation overrode its precise controls. But Terra's Vengeance had changed even more. It was larger now, incorporating pieces of the dreadnought's structure. Its hull gleamed with new alloys that combined human adaptability with alien strength. Its weapons were more powerful, its engines faster, its systems more advanced than anything either species had built alone. "Status report," Tae-ho called out. "All systems operating at levels beyond theoretical maximum," Subin reported in disbelief. "We have absorbed 30% of the dreadnought's mass and technology. The dreadnought is dead in space," Admiral Zhao Wei-ming announced, watching the massive alien ship drift helplessly. "Its command structure is completely offline." The 3 remaining Vorthak cruisers had stopped their attack, hanging motionless, in space as their crews tried to understand what they had just witnessed. Their communications, monitored by Dr. Lim Soo-jin, showed complete confusion and growing fear. They are asking each other what kind of weapon humans have created, Shimao translated. Fleet Commander Zektar is trying to re-establish contact with the dreadnought, but there is no response. Can we fire the main weapon again? Taeho asked. Better than that, Heejin said, studying the new readings on her instruments. The quantum merger has created multiple resonance points throughout the ship. We can fire the equivalent of 12 molecular resonance cannons simultaneously. Jae-sung felt the truth of this through his quantum connection. The ship was no longer just a weapon, it was dozens of weapons, all connected through human intuition and alien precision. I can target all 3 cruisers at the same time, he said with growing confidence. But before they could fire again, something unexpected happened. The lead Vorthak cruiser began broadcasting a wideband transmission. Instead of the usual alien, military communications, this was something different. They are trying to surrender, Soo-jin said in amazement. The transmission was being sent not just to Terra's vengeance, but to every corner of the galaxy. Word of what had happened was spreading, faster than light through alien communication networks. The story was incredible but true. A primitive species had taken abandoned alien technology and turned it into something more powerful than anything the Vorthak had ever built. More ships are retreating, Wei Ming reported, watching the tactical display. The entire fleet is pulling back. But the victory was about more than just one battle. As Terra's vengeance hung in space, its transformed hull gleaming in the starlight, messages began arriving from across the galaxy. The first came from a species called the Keth Mori, who had been enslaved by the Vorthak for 300 years. Please, their message said in broken but understandable language, teach us how to be stubborn like humans. The second came from the Zilnathi, who had lost their homeworld to Vorthak conquest. We have old ships, damaged and abandoned. Can humans make them work again? More messages followed. Dozens of species who had been conquered or dismissed by the Vorthak Empire were asking the same questions. How did humans turn weakness into strength? How did they make impossible things work? How did they refuse to accept defeat even when facing overwhelming odds? We are receiving surrender offers from 17 different Vorthak fleets, Soo-jin announced in wonder. They are asking for terms. Commander Jang Ki-tai was coordinating with Earth's government through quantum communication links. The United Earth Council wants to know our terms for the alien surrender, he said. Taeho thought about everything that had led to this moment, the abandoned ship in the desert, the years of failure trying to understand alien technology, the desperate race to prepare for invasion, the battle that had nearly destroyed them. Tell them our terms are simple, he said finally. The aliens leave Earth alone. They stop conquering other species, and they learn to work together instead of throwing away things they think are broken. The negotiations took hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. The Vorthak Empire, faced with a weapon they could not understand or defeat, agreed to humanity's terms. The age of galactic conquest was ending, replaced by an age of cooperation and mutual aid. But the biggest changes were yet to come. Within weeks, Terra's vengeance had become the flagship of a new kind of fleet. Ships from dozens of species arrived. At Earth, many of them damaged or abandoned vessels that their builders had given up on. Human engineers worked alongside alien technicians to repair and improve these cast-off ships. Minho's adaptive power systems were installed in vessels that had not moved in decades. Boyoung's self-repairing materials strengthened hulls that had been written off as hopeless. Hyojin's quantum targeting systems gave new life to weapons that alien logic had declared obsolete. Each ship that humans touched became something greater than it had been, not because human technology was superior. It was not. But because humans refused to accept that anything was truly worthless. They found ways to make broken things work. They combined different technologies in ways that no single species would have attempted. They turned diversity into strength and cooperation into power. We are not building a fleet, Taeho realized as he watched the growing collection of restored ships in Earth's orbit. We are building a new way of thinking about technology and cooperation. The final proof came 6 months later, when long-range sensors detected a massive alien fleet approaching from the galactic core. It was not Vorthak. It was something older and more powerful, a species that had conquered the Vorthak themselves eons ago. They were coming to reclaim their former subjects and punish the upstart humans who had disrupted their ancient order. The fleet was enormous. Hundreds of ships, each one larger and more advanced than anything the Vorthak had ever built. By all logic, it should have been humanity's doom. Instead, it became humanity's greatest triumph. The combined fleet that met this new threat was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ships from 50 different species flew together, their crews working in harmony despite coming from completely different worlds and cultures. At their center flew Terra's Vengeance, no longer recognizable as the abandoned Vorthak cruiser it had once been. The battle lasted 3 days and ended with the complete defeat of the ancient enemy, not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but through the simple power of cooperation. Species that had been enemies for millennia worked together. Technologies that had never been compatible were made to function in harmony. Tactics that had never been tried proved devastatingly effective.